Well, hey, Coast Vineyard. Midday moment for our halfway point of our original lockdown period anyway. Who knows what will happen once we get to the end of this 4 weeks. But I've just been pondering the whole idea of rhythms. We all have a rhythm to life, don't we? And all those rhythms have been thrown up in the air a wee bit with the lockdown. And I've just been considering this as a bit of an opportunity, as we spend time reflecting on what is most important to us, where do we spend our time, how do we want to spend our time, how do we want to live, kind of going forward. It's almost like this season that none of us would have chosen, that has been thrust upon us, does actually give us some opportunities. And one of those is to kind of consider again how we do life, our rhythms, our routines, our practices, our schedules. And a couple of things come to mind. This may be a great time for us to actually have a look at this whole idea of a rule of life. And I'm going to share on our social media and on our website a small clip about what a rule of life is from just talked about by John Mark Comer. It's a set of schedule or a set of practices that we regularly engage in that help us to live the life that we want to live, that aligns with our deepest desires in relation to God, in relation to our families and friends and the world around us. And so it could be a really great time for us to consider what are some of the things that we want to actually weave into our own rule of life, our own practice of life. And we were chatting with a bunch of pastors last week, and we were hearing from some of the pastors that have been through the earthquakes the other year in Christchurch, a few years ago now. And as well as spiritual practices that we want to weave in that help cultivate good things in us and a deeper connection to God through Jesus, there's also just the practical reality of wanting to create good rhythms for us. And I have a confession to make. My chocolate intake has gone up, my exercise has gone down, and I know that that's symptomatic of just being under pressure and a bit of stress. And but just the encouragement to us all in terms of looking after ourselves was that there's an acronym, free. So to think about putting these important pieces into our daily rhythms as food, is to eat really good meals at regular times. Don't skip meals, don't just eat junk food. I need to look at my chocolate. But eat well, rest, that we need to make sure that we're getting good rest, and that sleep as well as just downtime through the week. Exercise, which I've been doing my walks. This is where I walk, just near home. But we want to have exercise just to keep our bodies grounded and doing well, and just doing everything we can care for ourselves that way. And then enjoyment. Do something that brings us joy, and to do it regularly, to build that into our schedules. And there are other things, obviously, alongside of us, spending time with God, spending time with our families, limiting our time on social media and on our phones. The news can be overwhelming and not so good for our souls right now. And some of those, there's going to be a bunch of ideas about how you may want to create a rule of life that I'll share on the resources page on the website. That will hopefully be some helpful starting points, as well as this whole idea of free food, rest, exercise and enjoyment. But just some things for us to consider, looking for the silver lining in one of the silver linings in the season that we're in, is just to be able to come back to what is most important and how do I want to live so that I can become who I want to become and have the relationship with God and with the people I love that would look like how I want it to look. Okay, go well, have a wonderful day.